Slicker than a greased pig and prettier than your prom date. I've said it before. I hope you're ready for a riddle. What is slicker than a greased pig and prettier than your prom date? Well, dadgummit, let me introduce you to slicker than a greased pig, and this one's prettier than your prom date. I've got a 627 Performance Center here from Smith Wesson. This 627 is an 8-shot, in-frame, 357.
You ain't got no flinch in you, have you, boy?
Nope. And this one right here is an L-frame 6-shot 357. This one was once Performance Center. This one is now better than a Performance Center. Some time ago, I'd had my 627 sent to TK Custom, and TK Customs went all the way through this thing, removed all of the MIM parts, the metal injection molded parts. They did a chamfer on the cylinder. This thing was already cut for moon clips. It's double action only. We've got the nice big gas pedal cylinder release there, and this thing is just freaking killer. I've been enjoying this one quite a bit. But now the 686, this is the latest one that went to TK Custom, and this thing came back actually slicker than that 627. I think it's a little bit to do with the metallurgy, this one being a 1994 manufacturer versus this one with the kind of a matte stainless. But now this one, I was so impressed with the 627. This one had to go to TK Custom too. So we've had our hammer bobbed, and he went through, cut this thing for moon clips and chamfered the cylinders and all that, and dadgummit, I freaking love this thing. So now this one right here isn't just for looks. I have been enjoying this thing quite a bit. I took this thing to a backup gun match that they have locally, and the rule is, it's meant for Glock 19 and smaller, but the rule is a 4-inch barrel. Well, with a revolver, you get just a little bit more barrel than you do with a semi-automatic. So I'm kind of exploiting that rule. I'm getting just a little bit of a longer barrel, gives a little bit more velocity, a little bit better accuracy.
Range is clear, 946 clean. Get you.
So now let's take a closer look at both of these. So here we go, guys. I got the 686 right here and the 627 right there. So let's look at these things. This is an L frame, this one's an N frame. So that is going to explain the difference between the 6-shot and 8-shot. The N frame is technically the 44 mag frame, so you got room for 2 more rounds in the cylinder. Now, this L frame here is available in a 686 Plus, and I did speak to TK. If I can find a 686 Plus cylinder, this thing could be swapped over and be a 7-shot. But quite frankly, I kind of like them as is. Got the 6-shot, 8-shot, I can do whatever I want to. The only thing that sucks is the 8-shot here, the 627, has the 5-inch barrel, and that keeps me from using it in the backup gun matches like I'm using the 4-inch.
Stand by.
So now let's look at the 627 specifically. I've still got the factory grips on here. I kind of like the factory grips. They leave a little bit to be desired. I may try to find some matching VZs. I think it'd be really cool to have VZ grips on both of these. But now what TK did, this is a Performance Center from Smith Wesson, but they do use MIM parts, metal injection molding parts. So with those MIM parts, you don't get just a smooth of a surface or engagement surface that breaks nice and easy. You can't really stone them and get right angles on them and stuff. So TK Custom, they've got their own hammer, their own trigger, and then of course their own internal parts. This one right here, I was pulling this one. When I first got it, I was doing 8-pound trigger pulls on it because I needed to find Federal primers. Since then, I got into a whole bunch of Federal primers, and I'm not having any issues. So we actually dialed this one down, and we've got about a 6 to 6.5 pound double action trigger pull, and it is ridiculously smooth. Just really nice. Now, of course, what they've done here, everybody always wants to complain about the Hillary hole and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you'll notice, the flag is gone. So that flag is out of there. So we still have the little keyhole, but that mechanism is gone. So now, just as an experiment, I've actually wound up putting an excess sight, one of their big dots on there, just to swap it out. I've got the factory brass bead, and then that factory, or this excess here, this is actually a tritium, and it glows in the dark, so it's pretty cool. So, you've got your adjustable rear sight. Let's see if we can line that up. just a really good way to acquire that front sight. I really like that nice big glowing white donut to draw my eyes to it. So now this one right here was cut from the factory for moon clips. So you were able to use the moon clips and just drop them in. But what TK Custom has wound up doing is chamfering all of the cylinder holes. So when you take that moon clip, it just falls directly in. It's really smooth. It's like day and night difference compared to what it was. So now let's take a look at the 686. So now the 686 here, this one was a Clinton era gun. This one was made in 1994, as I stated earlier. And this one's got the high luster stainless. So it's got a few swirl marks in it, but I used the gun, so that's no big deal. I've got a set of Altamont. These are the silver black grips here, and they still maintain the round butt. You know, these right here are a round to square conversion grip. I could put round grips on that one too. But now, what TK did, since this one was actually a little bit of an older gun, they weren't able to put their lightning hammer in it, but I swear, by the time he bobbed this and polished this out, I think I kind of like it. It still has a little bit of the case colored look on it. They did get their trigger in here. Now, both of these triggers do have stops for over travel. So they bottom out right here on the trigger guard so you don't get any over travel. This one right here is just really nice. I'm really enjoying this trigger pull. This trigger pull is about 6 pounds, and it's just so stinking smooth. And I think it's a difference between the stainless and the two of them. You know, this one's a little bit more of a porous, and this one's just a higher luster. I think there is a difference in that metal work. So now, like I said, I've been using this one in a backup gun class. I really enjoy it. And the cool thing is it's dominated with semi-autos. Just period. They're all like 9mm, SIG, Glock, you know, whatever they are. And I like showing up with a wheel gun. And even the range officer one day said, wheel guns are real guns.
All right, I like it. Wheel guns are real guns.
But now I've got a really cool little box right here. This little box, I have been enjoying this for a long time. I highlighted it in an older video, but this is still working as intended.
And of course, some of you guys have already seen my moon clip setup. This is just a shot shell holder, or shot shell box. Basically holds 100 rounds like out in the dove field, but I have adapted it by putting a 1x6 that I trimmed down in the table saw and some wooden dowels. And basically you can just pick them up, set them back down. I put a little piece of foam. You see how the foam is indented? The foam holds everything down for transport.
Okay.
That was a good afternoon shooting.
So I hope you've enjoyed this look at both of my TK custom modified Smith & Wessons. I am trying to run it home to the kids that these things are just absolute heirlooms as far as I'm concerned. These things need to hang around a little while after I'm gone. I'm just truly impressed with, you know, everybody likes a good Smith & Wesson. I'm just truly impressed with the work that TK Custom did to bring this up and above and beyond factory. Because quite frankly, once I got this one back, I figured out that a performance center wasn't like the pinnacle. Getting a good, swapped out, nice, hand-worked action is far superior. So, y'all have a wonderful day. I love you, and I love my wheel guns. Y'all take care.